Thank you for joining us. Welcome to LumioStation.
Hello viewers of LumioStation, my name is ZMP Pro, and today I have a Wi-Fi battle for you here against a fellow Let's Player known as Masterstarman, and speaking of him, here he is.
Hey everyone, my name is Masterstarman. Great to be here.
And anyway, let's get to the team preview. As you can see, his team is quite threatening. The only thing I was really scared about, though, were the Weavile and Espeon, mainly because I've never faced one before in Gen 6, and I had no idea if his Espeon was bulky, as a bulky support, or was a Choice Scarf Sweeper. But I wasn't worried about the Greninja because I have my Mega Manectric, and his Doublade I can just destroy with my Mega Manectric and my Mantine here. But yeah, anyway, let's start the battle. I decide to lead with my Mantine, protecting his Goodra, Espeon, or
Greninja.
Greninja to lead in,
Which I usually lead with Greninja for Scout and do some extra damage, because I usually don't expect walls to lead off.
Yeah. So he leads with Greninja, and knowing my Mantine can take any hit from this guy, crit or not, he goes for the I to stay in and go for the Toxic, if I'm correct.
Yes.
But I miss. Do I miss? No, I don't.
It's
anyway.
rare to miss Toxic.
Yeah, I missed it a few times, but yeah, I go for the Toxic just to do some residual damage to it, knowing I cannot really touch it with any real moves. So this turn, I believe I go for the Aqua Ring just to get myself some healing, and so I can last a tiny bit longer. As you can see, I'm just completely walling this Greninja, only taking 25% from a Stab Ice Beam. And this turn, I believe I go for the Protect.
Yes.
Yeah, I go for the Protect to heal off some more and do a little more damage from this. And you decide to switch out, knowing I'm either going to go for a Scald or a Double Protect.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Yeah, I think so.
So, yeah, he goes to
I kind of let off with this. I kind of have this cliche of leading off with this typical lead, which I think is part of the reason why ZMP Pro has the upper advantage, because I always try to use the same counters to counter it.
Yeah.
So he usually brings a counter I'm not expecting to kind of counter my team.
So he makes a safe switch into Goodra, and me expecting a Thunder or Thunderbolt, I go for the Protect, and as predicted, he goes right for the Thunder, and since I protected, I wasted a little bit of PP, which is always nice. So this turn, I decide to get the hell out of there. And
because one Thunder, even with special defense EVs, would probably screw a Mantine.
And even though I do have the Waken Berry, I don't think I'd survive that.
No, with the Waken Berry, yes, you would.
So I go to my
Metagross.
Diclonius to Metagross, and he misses the Thunder, unfortunately. It doesn't matter. I would have survived it with, I only would have taken a third damage from that because of Assault Vest.
I switch into Crobat here and
very
take a
stupidly.
Meteor Mash.
Yeah, I was wondering why he did that. If I went for Sun Headbutt, that thing would have been dead.
I was predicting an Earthquake, that's why.
For some reason. Anyway, I was predicting... For some reason, I wasn't predicting the
U-turn.
U-turn. I was just predicting him to switch out.
I
was debating on going for the Earthquake here, but I decided not to and go for the safe Meteor Mash.
I bring in
Doublade, gone for Sun Headbutt instead.
I bring in Doublade, which can basically wall any Steel type.
Yeah, knowing I cannot touch this thing with Earthquake, it only does like a third or something like that. I go to Rodon, which completely walls this guy.
Yeah.
As he sets up a Swords Dance.
Now, this Rodon was by far the biggest death of me in this battle.
Yeah, and instead of going for the Will-O-Wisp, I decided to go for the Hydro Pump, thinking that he's probably going to go for the Sacred Sword or another Swords Dance. So
I know. Well, I know that I know now that a times 4 Shadow Sneak doesn't do anything to this thing.
Yeah, so he goes for a Shadow Sneak just to fodder off this Doublade, which is kind of a smart move considering this thing was rather useless at that point. And
I make some really stupid decisions against this Rodon. I should have gone for the rest.
I actually should have gone for the rest here to heal up and take him out later, but I'm very glad I actually didn't.
Yeah, so...
And you'll see why later. And it's going to be next turn, actually.
He brings Greninja back, and I'm going to U-turn it. I was going to U-turn it. I U-turned this Rodon anyway. This was where the biggest decisive change comes into play. I don't KO the Rodon, and... So
I switched... No,
I bring in Espeon
without speed. Yeah, I I knew that the Crobat would outspeed my Greninja, so I swapped out to Rotom as fodder, or if he goes for U-turn, I can take a hit. And here, he goes to the Espeon, goes for the light screen.
This was the
he should have taken me
biggest mistake I made. I go for
This is the
dual
biggest
screens
misplay.
for some reason. I should have taken this thing out and set up my screens next turn.
Yeah. As soon as I saw the light screen, I realized, oh, wait a minute, you're probably going to go for Reflect next, not thinking my Rotom's going to be much of a threat. But nope, I go for the rest, and since I have a One Berry, I wake up instantly.
Biggest game changer in the whole game.
Yeah. He goes for the Psychic, which doesn't do anything
Thinking
to me,
about
or
it
does
back,
half.
that was my biggest mistake this whole match. No,
Yep, and I just go for the Volt Switch to get the heck out of there and deal some more damage to this guy, and I believe I go to Mantine to take any one hit this guy can do to me.
yeah, even though a Psychic still does a lot to this thing. Or no, I switch out though, never mind.
Yeah, you end up switching out, that's a little later in the match. You switch out and go back into your Goodra, which completely walls my Mantine. As you can see, this Scald doesn't even move the health bar.
Funny thing is, my Goodra is obviously a reference to Yoshi's Island, but I named it the wrong boss by accident. I meant to name it Sluggy the Unshaven, who has a more similar appearance to Goodra, but I named it Salvo the Slime instead without even thinking.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I did get the lucky burn on it, and since I know he's probably going to go for another Thunder, I decided to go for Protect to get some more burn damage and burn another Thunder on him. And this turn, I decided to switch out to Metagross, knowing I could take another Thunder anytime, and waste a little more PP on it. But unfortunately, he misses again.
Oh yeah, I do.
Which actually does make a big difference here.
Yeah.
Because this Metagross is probably the biggest threat on his team, because I hit the hardest and he doesn't have many special walls.
To my team?
Yeah, it's probably the biggest threat because I hit the hardest.
Well, I have.
Well, not counting Manectric, but you'll see why that thing's not as much of a threat later on.
Yeah.
So, anyway, he hits the third Thunder third time's a charm, I guess, and it does nothing.
I wasn't expecting Assault Vest. I don't even remember when I hit this thing with a super effective attack.
Yeah, I don't think you switch out here either.
No, I just Vodder Goodra at this point.
He says to fire to Goodra, which is actually
okay. If this is, I think I go back to Espeon this turn, and if it is, then this is no. I go to Crobat.
No, you go to Crobat. Yeah, I went to for the Zen Headbutt, expecting the Crobat switch, expecting you to actually save the Goodra, but either way, I would have taken it out. But anyway,
okay,
I go for the Bullet Punch just to deal some more damage, as he U-turns over to his Espeon, if I'm correct.
Yes.
Or is it his
Espeon?
Yeah, to his Espeon.
Now, this is where my ultimate sweep starts pulling off, though. He switches out.
So I switch out. I switch out to my Mantine just to take any hit from it. Because I was expecting the Shadow Ball, actually, even though I should have realized that you're a dual screen set instead of an attacking set.
Yeah.
So I probably should have stayed and went right for the Meteor Mash.
Okay, I go for the light screen here. I think he goes for something.
I go right for the Scald.
Yeah, that's what
knowing
I was
that Toxic will just bounce right back.
Yeah, Magic Bounce for the win. Scald does nothing. Because
it does literally nothing.
I have no special defense EVs as well. That's the funny thing.
Yeah, this thing.
My Espeon
but this Scald damage actually does matter quite a lot, especially the next one.
Yeah, you get a crit next, which not for spoilers, but this was a big changer here because it crits when I would have normally survived that.
Yeah, and I'm actually really. This crit actually comes to bite me in the ass next turn.
Okay, I bring in Weavile. This is where he makes probably one of his two stupid biggest mistakes.
I go for Protect expecting the Ice Shard, but apparently he doesn't have it.
No, I have something way more deadly. Swords Dance.
Yeah, so he goes for the Swords Dance. I should have gone for the Scald, foddering off my Mantine instead, but I play a little too safe.
This is late game Swords Dance Life Orb Weavile, which is very risky, but as you see, it does tons of damage.
Yeah, I should have gone for the Scald.
Here's one of the biggest glitches in this whole match.
If this is even a glitch. I Mega Evolve right away, knowing that Mega Manectric outspeeds
one catch,
Weavile no matter what. But for some reason, he outspeeds me.
Intimidate
and goes for the
doesn't matter.
Crash.
Icicle Crash, and one-shot this thing completely, even with that Intimidate.
And for some reason, it outsped me, which I don't know if that's a glitch or that's just some change they did with Mega Evolutions, but...
That was
anyway, I was going for the Overheat there, which would have destroyed this thing.
Yeah, he goes to Metagross, goes for the Bullet Punch. This was the last turn I had for Reflect, and because of Reflect, I was able to survive this attack.
Yeah, if I knew that Reflect was ending this turn, I would not have gone into Metagross here.
Yeah, that was another big mistake.
Yeah, I wasn't counting the turn
Now,
to Reflect.
the biggest
so.
mistake James made this whole match was coming up in this next turn.
Which was...
He brings in his Barbaracle.
Oh, yeah. I still thought this guy had the Ice Shard, so I did not go for the Shell Smash.
He goes for Razor Shell instead.
Yeah. Just to finish it off.
Which finishes me off, unfortunately. But Weavile had a great sweep, though, taking out 3 Pokemon in its own run.
But since I know that... if I knew that it did not have Ice Shard, I would have gone right for the Shell Smash and swept his team from right then. Because I have 3 really strong moves on it.
Yeah,
anyway,
so I go to back.
I decided to go to...
You turn out once again, finish this thing off.
Yep, I really wish Barbaracle got Aqua Jet, but oh well.
Yeah, so so you have Rotom left, and I'm guessing... what else? Greninja.
Yeah, I have Greninja left. So,
Greninja.
we both decided to switch out to our Greninjas.
Which...
And
I was honestly surprised you had a second competitive Greninja.
yeah, I bred myself another 5 IV1.
Yeah, because
anyway,
I thought...
I knew for a fact that his Greninja was faster because I accidentally EV'd my Greninja wrong. So, knowing he'd go for the Ice Beam, which is the strongest move that he could deal to me, I go for the Ice Beam also.
Which does a lot more to...
Because I'm Life Orbed.
And I actually live this with exactly 1 hit point.
Yeah, which actually was a big deal.
Yeah.
Because actually, I don't think it actually was, now that I think about it.
Okay, I go for the Surf again.
Yeah, it goes for the Surf, and I live with 7 HP.
5.
Or 5, whatever.
We both get taken down to
but it ends
this
up being a
turn.
double down.
And this was possibly the biggest pain in the ass in the game. I thought he had Mantine left.
Yeah, he thought he took out my Rotom a while ago, but he mistook it for Mantine. And here it's Crobat versus Rotom, and
this is where I really wish I had gone for Psychic earlier on in the match.
Yeah, and this is where it comes to bite him in the ass.
Yeah.
He goes for Cross Poison, his strongest move, doesn't do anything, and I finish it off with the Volt Switch for the game.
That was a very good match.
So yeah, a very good close match.
That was a really, really close match.
Yeah.
I still can't believe that even happened. A lot of stupid mistakes, but in the end.
Yeah. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you have any suggestions of what I could do to improve for each of us to improve our gameplay, leave a comment.
I need a lot of catching up to do. I haven't played the metagame since Gen 4.
Anyway, if you ever feel so inclined, check out both of our Let's Play channels. They should both be in the description. So anyway, see you guys later, and enjoy Wi-Fi battling.